is my pleasure to introduce the next speaker. Debra Vines is somebody that I met about a year and a half ago when her organization, The Answer Inc., became the newest partner of the Autism Program of Illinois. Debra is a powerful lady. I'm not reading her introduction. She really is a passionate and powerful individual. She is the parent of a now adult child with autism. And in her time, she has not only dealt with just recognition of the need for services for individuals with autism, supports for their families, but among other things, she and her husband also recognize the difficulties that fathers have in dealing with autism in their families. And they have a number of supportive programs at The Answer, including a fathers-only support group, some groups for individuals, mostly adults, I believe, with autism, a mother's group, and a general support group. And Debra is going to speak about the issues that she's seen and that she's been dealing with in the community. And you'll notice that as she comes up here, she walks like the model that she was before she started her passion with autism. Debra, thank you.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you so much. I am so honored and blessed to stand before you today to talk about what my passion is, and that is autism. Something that I did not ask for and was mad about for a very long time. I was like, God, why me? I had a great life. I was modeling, I was a hairstylist, I was just doing some amazing things, and God blessed me with a 2-pound, 6-ounce baby boy in 1987 of September, and that's Jason. That's my husband and me. And again, Jason was 2 pounds and 6 ounces. And the doctors told us that he was going to have developmental challenges, but we never thought that it would end up being the journey that we're going through now. So at 18 months, Jason used to wake us up every morning, banging pots and pans. Okay, it's time to get up. So one morning, we kind of overslept, and we didn't hear the pots and pans banging, and went downstairs, and Jason was just rocking back and forth, real lethargic state. I mean, he was doing everything on time that a kid would do at 18 months old. And so we rushed him to the hospital because we thought he might have ate something, or it was like the body snatchers just came and got my son. And so we took him to the doctor, and we got the A word, autism. I had never heard autism outside of the Rain Man. Keep in mind, when Jason was diagnosed, the numbers were 1 in 1,000. Now they're 1 in 44. So that word was very foreign to me, but being the person that I am, I went into overdrive and just started trying to find resources and support everywhere I went, and to my demise, it was nothing available. Nothing. I mean, nothing. I got a pamphlet from, I don't want to say what agency it was, but they said, okay, here's a pamphlet. You're on your own. And I was lost. So my husband and I had to end up going maybe 30, 40 miles outside of the township that we lived in just for basic support for us. And I felt very alone, very alienated, very just out of place, because the economics of the rooms that we were sitting in, at that time, those parents were talking about iPads then. And my husband and I were just trying to figure out a way to pay the copay to get Jason to his next doctor's appointment. So we were just out of place. So time went by, and I'm gonna fast forward to where we are now. Autism in urban communities. Again, where we were living, it was no support groups, no early intervention, no services whatsoever. So we went outside of the Chicagoland area to try to get support again. We were alienated. Number 2, we couldn't afford it. So I came back to my community, put him back in the school system, which we were living in the Chicagoland area then, still in an underserved urban community. He was in a classroom that was multidimensional, multicultural. that did not just service autism. So that was the number one problem. He was just in a classroom where he was just basically being babysitted. And right now, for a long time, those services that he did not get because of living in an underserved community, we are, I guess, facing those challenges because he didn't get those services early on. And then we're going to talk about the Answer Inc. Okay. According to the Center of Disease Control, and also this is information that I've done servicing the families myself, African American children are not just getting diagnosed of autism as quickly as white peers, but many children are diagnosed with autism around the age of 4 years old. African American, you know that's too late. That's really too late. It's little too late because at the time Jason was diagnosed at 18 months old. If we could have went into overdrive with every service, even early intervention that they have right now, he probably would be doing even better than he is. African American children require more time in treatment before receiving diagnosis. Again, lack of resources. And still, that's even right now. The resources in the community that I live in Maywood. Surrounding me is Forest Park, River Forest, and then going further back west, DuPage County. Those services are phenomenal. Maywood, Bellwood, Broadview still have a very, very long way to go, but we're still working very hard. The problem, number one, community awareness. And that's why I'm so excited to see you guys here now. Not just talking about libraries, but how you want to service the families that come to the library. So I want to ask you this question. By show of hands, how many African American families come to the libraries that you service? Okay, that's quite a few. So by show of hands again, is the population 50%? Okay, so that's a small percent. So with that small percent that's here of African American families, I want you to think about this. How you going to service that African American family? Because dealing with the families that I've dealt with in the last 8 years and just being a parent myself, we don't see anyone that looks like us. So it's a pride thing. Very, very proud. I don't see anybody that looks like me. I'm on public aid. They're driving a Mercedes. I don't feel like I belong, even though my child has autism too. Your child might be Caucasian and mine is African American. We both have children with autism, but I look different than you. We don't speak the same language, although we are parents. So that's a stigma that the Answer Incorporated is trying to break and merge those families. The solution, one solution, building community awareness. And the reason why I put in that slide, need something here, because I want all of us to be in the mindset of what are we gonna do to build that community awareness. I'm only one person. I do a lot, but I'm only one person. So to constantly spread the word, more marketing materials, more awareness in communities of color. No, go back. I'm sorry. Conduct educational awareness classes in libraries. Now, it was so ironic because I was sitting there at the table with Broadview Trustee Library Board member Katrina. She said, I want to start doing some community awareness in libraries. I said, wait till you see my presentation. So I'm really excited to hear about that. So, you know, I want to encourage you guys, not to just service families of color or in urban communities, but to start having more community awareness about autism because we are afraid of what we don't understand. Supportive services. We should partner. Again, the young lady that just spoke, she was speaking about coalitions. We should partner more with the agencies that are in our community. And that's something that the Answer is working very, very hard on, is partnering. So, which leads me to our next slide, and that's the Answer Incorporated, which was founded by my husband and myself. And our mission is that we are dedicated to provide support, resources, education, recreation, and advocacy for families impacted by autism and developmental disorders. I was just sharing with the young lady that when we started the Answer Incorporated, the core is autism. But we have so many parents that come to us and say, well, my child has Down syndrome. What do I do? I can't say, okay, we just service autism families, because that need is still there. One of the programs that I'm very, very excited about that we do, and I want to tell you a quick story, is our first responders training. When Jason was about 11 years old, he had a medication imbalance, and I'm a firm believer that stories sell and facts tell. So this story really sticks with a lot of people that I tell them about this story. He had a medication imbalance, and he became very, very violent. I mean, there was blood everywhere. Long story short, I had to call the paramedics. Paramedics intel called the police department. He was biting himself until he bled, head, button, whole 9 yards. And when the police department came in, they came in with handcuffs, and they mummified him on his wrists and on his feet. And it was a horrible experience, not just for me and my husband, but for Jason as well, because to this day, at 28 years old, when he sees a policeman, I see the fear in his face. So it's so many mishaps that are happening with the police departments now. Deaths of children with disabilities because they don't understand. I'm sure all of you have heard about the Stephon Watts story in Calumet City. It's just a lot going on. So one of our goals is to educate the police department on the signs and symptoms of autism. We go to the park districts and we speak to the staff, because a lot of them have day camps, and there's so many children that are being mainstreamed into the community of autism. So we want to make sure that not only the staff, but the children understand, the typical children, about our children with autism. We do this training at social service agencies and at faith-based communities as well, because a lot of families stop taking their children to church. So we want to encourage families to start going back to church. Another program that we have, and this is the graduating class of Spectrum University, and it's a tutoring program for adults age 18 to 40. Again, everything that we develop in the Answer Incorporated is being blueprint parents, so it's kind of a blueprint. Jason did not have number recognition or letter recognition. Right now we are in our 4th session at Spectrum University. Jason can freehand write his name. He has number recognition and letter recognition, so I'm really excited about that. The outcomes of the program have been phenomenal. 2 of our participants have gotten jobs. One of them, he has a love for music, so he's a DJ and he's getting paid. So not only are they learning reading, writing, and math skills, but they're learning social skills as well. So I'm excited about that as well. We started with support groups, 15, 20 women. And then one day my husband said, what about the men? And I was so glad that he said that, because for a long time, my husband did not accept the fact that our son had a disorder. He kept saying, oh, he'll be fine, he'll be fine, he'll be fine. So we're gonna show you a quick video.
It is.
It's under videos, Suzanne.
Huh?
Under videos.
Okay, there's the second one.
I didn't click. Okay, here we go.
I never thought in my lifetime that I would have a child that would not be perfect. All my friends, they were having kids, babies, and they were all fine and dandy. Okay, mine come along now, and I'm saying, oh, I got a beautiful wife, he's going to be this and that. And then you have these dreams that he's going to be 6 feet 2, 190 pounds, he's going to be an athletic guy, he's going to go to college, and I'm going to sit back and be and say, oh, that's my son, and cheering him on. Run for that touchdown. And then all of a sudden, bam, it hits you. And you say, my kid will never run for a touchdown. He'll never catch that fly ball. He'll never be the guy to hit that game-winning home run. My child will be a blessing if he can count change for $1.
Look at the box in the refrigerator.
At times, I was thinking perhaps I need psychiatric help. I went through a myriad of emotions. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to talk to. I had no one to talk to. I tried to talk to my wife, but she's a woman, and she looks at things a little differently. All right. I'm just starting a group called Just for Men. And this group is to help and empower the men. Growing up, we are taught that men don't cry. And the way I look at it is real men cry. Real men shed tears. That helps you to become a man. If you want to just vent because it was a traumatic week for you, come to the group, empowering each other, interacting with each other. This is what my group is all about. You can be around other men with like situations. And we can sit around and now we can talk. We're not going to talk about the winning shot, and maybe we will, but we can talk about Johnny learned how to tie his shoe. Hey, Mark learned how to brush his teeth. Hey, Mary is learning how to cook. No matter what happens, that is still going to be your son or your daughter. If the parents and the husband and the men in particular do not embrace these children, how can you expect the community to embrace your child if you're not embracing it? We have to get them out in the community and be active in the community. I tell people, let's not use the term disabled or disability. Let's talk about what our children can do.
1, 2, 3. Absolutely.
Around the age of about 12 or 13 is when I really became accepting of what was happening and what he was and what I was. And I thought that I knew how to love. Okay? But when Jason came along, Jason taught me what they call unconditional love. Jason made me a better person, a better father, a better husband, and hopefully a better human being. That's what it is all about. And without Jason, I would not have known that. I would have been born, I would have lived from A to B, and I would have died an ignorant man thinking that I knew how to love.
Okay, tier 2. Since that video, the Just for Men group is really going strong, and I'm excited about that because there's so many marriages that are broken because of special needs. I talk to a lot of families every day in our community that are just going through problems. They're going through divorce, they're going through separation, and I know that's across the board, but I can only talk about what I know. Even in my household, it's challenges, but it's work. It's constant work being a parent and an advocate. Okay. Our events. And I know all of you got this little yellow card. That's our Autism Walkathon. And every year, I think for the last 7 years, we have sponsored a total of 265 children and adults to horseback riding camp for an entire week. And that's through the walkathon that we do every single year. This walkathon was the first walkathon that was created in Proviso Township. And so many families and the community have embraced this walkathon, not only to sponsor children to horseback riding camp, but to help us with our other programs, and which is so needed right now with the government impasse, the budget impasse. We also have Moms of the Midwest Luncheon that a couple of women here have attended, and it's just an opportunity for women to come together and just bond with each other. And we have our annual gala as well. This is our Music in Me program, and it's an exercise, dance, and nutrition program. As children start aging out of school at age 22, they usually, because they're in school, they have more movement. So at age 22, I noticed that my son was gaining weight. He's a skinny guy, but he started getting a belly. And so I started thinking about dance, and most children and adults with autism, they love music. So we created a program called Music and Me, and we bring in a nutritionist once a week that teaches them how to make healthy snacks and healthy cooking. And we also have an exercise instructor as well, and a dance instructor that teaches them different genres of dance. And at the end of the year, they perform at our annual gala. So actually for Autism Awareness Month next month, they're going to perform at Uncle Remus Saucy Fried Chicken for World Autism Day. So it's going to be a great event, but you know, we're not only going to perform, but we're going to talk about autism with the people that come into the chicken place and eat chicken. So we're going to have a great time. Okay, this is one initiative that I'm truly excited about, and I just want to again acknowledge Russ Bonanno and TAP, because of being a partner with TAP, we were able to do this amazing project, and that's open an autism resource room at the Broadview Library. And it's actually the first resource room in Proviso Township. So that's another picture of the resource room. Okay, so this is the last page, and I'm really honored about this. We worked really hard on passing legislation as it relates to the PUNS list. A lot of families in our community that did not even know what the PUNS list was, and for those of you who don't know, PUNS stands for Priority Urgency of Needs. And it's a statewide list that when you find out your child has a disability, they go on that list so that they can be privy to services. A lot of families in our community didn't even know what the PUNS meant. They didn't know what it meant, so we started having PUNS days. And I talked to a couple of legislators about this need, and so the answer wrote a bill, and the bill was passed into law July 27th. IEP assistance. A lot of families don't know how to advocate for themselves in an IEP. When I was going to IEPs for Jason when he was younger, I would cry each and every IEP. So at the school, the therapeutic school in Proviso Township, PACE, they actually changed policy and stopped talking about what they're telling the families what their children are not doing, but started talking about what they are doing. Because I'm telling you, I would leave those IEP meetings and I would just feel crushed, and I would say, well, it seems like Jason's doing something that, you know, when I leave the meeting, I would just be totally crushed. And so I spoke to the principal and spoke to the executive director and went to a couple of board meetings, and they changed the entire policy. So thank goodness for that. So when the families lead IEP meetings, they won't be just feeling like their children are failures. Last but not least, our Bullying is Not the Answer program, and you guys can go on YouTube. We have a documentary, and you can look up under my name, and it's under, the name of the book, the program is called STOPP, Students Together Opposing Peer Pressure. And the program is called Bullying is Not the Answer. We've done this program at Park Districts, at Proviso East High School, Morton High School, and a couple other high schools as well. So special thanks to the Targeting Autism Forum, Suzanne and Russ, for giving me an opportunity to speak to you guys. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to someone that I have so much respect for. I love her so much because she's my sister, my friend, my colleague, and Broadview Library trustee, Katrina Thompson.
Greetings in the State Library. Thank you, Debra Vines, and to the committee for targeting autism. It's such an honor and a pleasure to stand before you all. I am truly a passionate advocate, servant for those impacted with autism. I've worked with Debra on several initiatives as an executive director of our Park District. We've incorporated Bullying is Not the Answer. We got the resource library at our public library, which was a lot of work to initiate and get the work done, but as you keep pressing on and pressing on and pressing on, it gets done. As it relates to being an elected official, I think it's important for all elected officials to have a platform that you really have a passion for, and mine is disability. And that's something that's just embedded in me. I just feel that I have to be a voice for those that cannot fight for themselves. I feel that I have to be the person where someone can come to me and talk about their initiatives and what they want to get done. As it relates to going to the Hill and advocating and talking to our congressmen, our senators, our House of Representatives. I've been to DC, I've been to Springfield, and advocacy and partner and all of us doing it together, that's how you get bills passed. So I became an elected official because I know that it's policy that set the standards for all of us. And we all have to work together to get the job done. So it's such an honor to be in our state library as an elected official, and it's a great pleasure to speak before you all today. Thank you.